just starting to get a look at documents that have been released by the Justice Department just a few minutes ago. This is the audio and the transcript from the jailhouse interview with Jeffrey Epstein's convicted.
However, they are no longer on speaking terms, and the reason for the fallout has remained one of fashion's most tight.
What it's going to be. And Meghan, very foolishly, I might add, gave away a huge...
Just when you thought Meghan Markle's drama couldn't possibly get any wilder, here we are. Brace yourself, because it just took a turn straight into chaos. And no, this isn't just your everyday celebrity gossip. This is something so much darker, so much more dangerous. Guess who's back in the spotlight? None other than Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, that Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman who's been silent for years, locked away, seemingly out of the picture. Well, apparently she's ready to stir the pot in ways that could shake Meghan Markle's carefully built world to its core. The timing? Suspicious. The delivery? Chilling. And the target? Meghan herself.
Back in August of 2019 in Manhattan, she was charged a short time later. Again, she's serving a 20-year sentence. So Todd Blanche-Martha goes down, talks to Ghislaine Maxwell, does a 2-day interview.
For years, Ghislaine Maxwell has been nothing more than a ghost in the headlines, buried away, serving time, fading into the shadows of her own crimes. Many believed her story was over, done, forgotten. But now, whispers say she's ready to step back. Not with loud declarations, but with leaks. Subtle, dangerous, whispered truths that could rock reputations. And this time, it's not just about Epstein, not only about his world. This time, Meghan Markle's name is being dragged into the fire, and the details. Explosive doesn't even begin to cover it.
Would you out my ears? Well, Meghan Markle is speaking. The power of yet. Let's be as fair as we can.
Insiders are buzzing. They say Maxwell has allegedly revealed a document, yes, a file, that shines a spotlight on a Meghan Markle we've never seen before. Forget the actress, the charity speaker, the smiling duchess. This isn't about scripted lines or red carpet appearances. This file allegedly hints at adult-themed circles, secret role play, and social worlds far removed from the glossy Hollywood image we thought we knew. It's the kind of revelation that practically writes its own headlines, and once out there, it's impossible to unhear.
Information about Epstein out there after the Justice Department earlier.
Now, let's pause, because this isn't just some anonymous troll spinning fantasies online. We're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who was at the very heart of Epstein's circle, someone who had access to the kind of secrets most of us couldn't even imagine. Her credibility is messy. Sure, she's a convicted criminal, but she also knows, she saw, she heard, and when she drops a name, the world pays attention. Meghan's name being tied to this, it has sent social media into an absolute meltdown.
She's proposing an idea, the power of yet, which is just a kind of blind optimism that...
Predictably, Meghan's defenders are already screaming from the rooftops. Slander, smear campaign, lies. They insist it's nothing but an attempt to destroy her reputation, a distraction from more pressing issues. But here's the problem. This isn't just some gossip blog making noise. This is Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who lived in the shadows of the rich, the royal, and the untouchable. A woman who knows where the skeletons are buried. And when she speaks, even in whispers, people listen.
Wouldn't yield anything else. It was closed. And there was major blowback toward President Trump, toward Attorney General Pam Bondi.
The timing couldn't be more dangerous for Meghan. She's been in the middle of a rebrand for years, selling herself as a lifestyle guru, a philanthropist, an independent woman breaking free from the royal chains. Everything about her public image has been meticulously crafted. Yet now, these whispers of a pre-royal life, one steeped in adult-themed networks, threaten to rip that image apart in seconds. One rumor, one document, and years of careful work could collapse.
Dan Bongino and others. It's interesting, and you can stop me if I'm talking too much here, but it is interesting. I noticed President Trump in the Oval.
And here's the cruel truth. Meghan doesn't even need to be proven guilty of anything. The suggestion alone is enough to fuel headlines, ignite speculation, and plant doubt in people's minds. Already, social media is on fire. Fans are divided. Royal watchers are circling like vultures. And Maxwell, she doesn't need to shout. She's letting the story live its own life, letting curiosity and imagination do the heavy lifting. If this alleged document is real, this could be the most scandalous storm Meghan has ever faced.
As one would like, it'll just turn around as long as we just keep thinking positively. The power of yet. That's at least a marketable phrase, right?
The whispers are only growing. Rumors swirl that Maxwell isn't just talking. She's holding something tangible, a document, a CV, but not the kind you'd proudly hand to a casting director. No, this one allegedly lays bare an entirely different side of Meghan's pre-royal past, a version of her life that would leave even the most scandal-hungry tabloids breathless.
Event about an hour and a half ago about Epstein documents, and he commented on that, and he said, I told Pam, meaning Attorney General Bondi, and others to get as much information out as possible, but he said, I'm afraid that it might ruin some people's...
Sources claim this alleged file isn't just about credits or appearances. No, this goes further. It supposedly outlines adult-themed scenarios, private role plays, and connections in Hollywood circles that no one expected her name to be tied to. If true, it's the kind of revelation that shatters images, demolishes brands, and leaves reputations in ruins. Meghan, the strong, independent duchess with a curated, wholesome glow, would suddenly look like someone very, very different.
His own phrase. That phrase comes from a 2014 TED Talk by some lady named Carol Dweck.
And what I love about Michael Knowles.
And here's the gut punch. This isn't being whispered by random tabloids desperate for clicks. This is coming from someone who sat inside the world of Epstein. Maxwell wasn't on the sidelines. She was in the very center. She knows who played the game, who stood where, who was involved in what. If she even hints that Meghan's name belongs in her files, the world stops. People listen even if they don't want to.
Really, the top line here is Maxwell never had any type of client list of Jeffrey Epstein's, did not incriminate any high...
But of course, Meghan's defenders aren't quiet. They're shouting louder than ever, calling this nothing more than a smear, a distraction, an attack on her character. And maybe they're right. But the haunting part, Maxwell's credibility, as twisted as it is, can't be brushed off. She was too close to the fire. She lived in that world. And if she's pointing in Meghan's direction, even in whispers, it's impossible to dismiss.
Luxuriating in the power of yet, they were gripped in the tyranny of now.
So it's not.
The timing could not possibly be worse for Meghan. For years, she's been building this empire of authenticity, selling herself as a wellness advocate, a lifestyle guru, the duchess who broke free and stood tall on her own terms. Her Instagram perfect images, her podcasts, her luxury products, all carefully crafted to showcase empowerment. But now, whispers of an alleged adult-themed past threaten to smash that polished facade like glass. Imagine spending years creating an image of independence and strength only to have it all unravel because of one mysterious document. And the second Maxwell's claims began circulating, Meghan's defenders pounced. They called it slander, a smear campaign, a desperate attempt to tear her down. Hashtags defending her shot across social media in minutes. Loyal supporters scrambled to push back to assure the world that Meghan's reputation was untouchable. But here's the problem. Gossip doesn't need proof. It only needs attention. And when it comes from someone like Maxwell, that attention is magnified tenfold. Because when the name Ghislaine Maxwell is attached to a claim, the world reacts differently. This isn't an anonymous troll hunting clicks. This isn't a bitter ex or a jealous insider. Maxwell knows the players. She knows the secrets. She's been inside the rooms the rest of us can only imagine. If she dares to say Meghan's name in any context, people take notice, whether they want to or not. And Meghan's team? Oh, you can bet they're in panic mode. Public perception is fragile, especially when you've spent years curating it down to the last Instagram caption. Meghan's lifestyle ventures, her luxury branding, her wellness projects, all built on the idea of control. But one scandal, one rumor can turn everything upside down. And this isn't just any rumor. This is a storm, a PR disaster waiting to explode. And the cruel irony? Even if Maxwell's claims are completely fabricated, the damage is already done. The seed has been planted. The headlines have been written. The gossip mill is grinding full speed. Social media users are dissecting her every move. From her podcast to her product launches, royal watchers are speculating, gossip columnists are sharpening their pens, and casual fans are whispering, "What if?" That's the dark power of rumor. It shapes perception long before facts ever see the light of day. And just think about who's behind it. Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman who sat at the center of one of the most notorious scandals in modern history. Her words, her whispers, her alleged documents, they all carry carry weight, whether people like it or not. She wasn't a bystander. She was a participant, an insider, someone who witnessed things the rest of us couldn't even imagine. When she drops a name like Meghan Markle into the conversation, it's not just gossip anymore, it's potential history. And Meghan knows it. She has to. Every new move she makes now, every brand promotion, every podcast episode, every carefully curated Instagram post will be viewed under this shadow. People won't just see a duchess promoting wellness and empowerment anymore. They'll see rumors, they'll see whispers, they'll see questions she hasn't answered. Silence doesn't protect her here, it amplifies the suspicion. And silence is exactly what Meghan has given. No denials, no statements, no lawsuits, just silence. And that silence is deafening. Fans are reading into it, critics are twisting it, and gossip outlets are feasting on it. Every pause, every lack of comment becomes a story in itself. And that's the danger, because in the world of celebrity gossip, silence often screams louder than words. For Meghan, this is a nightmare she can't wake up from. Reputation is everything in her world, and once it starts to crack, it's almost impossible to put back together. And now, with Maxwell's whispers spreading like wildfire, with legal teams circling, with fans and critics dissecting her every move, Meghan's brand isn't just under pressure, it's under siege. And just when you think this whole thing couldn't get more tangled, the courts step in, and suddenly, everything feels even murkier. A U.S. judge recently shut down a request to release Jeffrey Epstein's grand jury transcripts. The official reason? To protect the safety and privacy of victims. On the surface, it sounds reasonable. But in the world of scandal and gossip, that kind of secrecy, it only fuels suspicion. It's like dangling a locked box in front of the public and whispering, "There's something inside you're not allowed to see." And just when you think this couldn't get darker, the whispers grow sharper. Legal experts start hinting that Meghan Markle herself could be asked to testify. Imagine the Duchess of Sussex being grilled under oath, lawyers circling, the world watching every single word that leaves her lips. It's not just scandal at that point, it's history in the making. Even the idea of it sends shockwaves across social media, palace hallways, and newsrooms alike. Her defenders are, of course, quick to slam the claims. They say this is all fabricated, blown out of proportion, twisted by people desperate to drag her name through the mud. But skeptics push back because the source isn't random. It's Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who lived and breathed inside Epstein's circle, who mingled with billionaires, royals, and powerful elites. Her credibility may be tarnished, but her access to secrets, undeniable. And that's the crux of it. Proximity. Meghan wasn't just a Hollywood actress brushing shoulders at red carpet events. According to these claims, she was close enough to feel the weight of the secrets, to understand the dynamics, to be tied to the whispers. That proximity transforms her silence into something else, something loaded with suspicion. Every polished Instagram post now feels like a distraction. Every podcast sounds like a smokescreen. And let's not pretend the stakes are small. Even the mere suggestion that Meghan might be connected, whether through friendship, knowledge, or alleged documents, sends her entire public image into jeopardy. The Duchess who left the royal family to build a brand of empowerment suddenly faces whispers that she's hiding a past far darker than anyone imagined. And the gossip world? It's feasting on the contrast. If Maxwell's alleged document exists, the implications are staggering. We're not talking about a minor rumor here. We're talking about a file that could unravel the foundation of Meghan's brand, the same brand built on authenticity, independence, and resilience. The Duchess celebrated for breaking free, and speaking her truth could suddenly find herself trapped in a web of her own silence. Think about it. Meghan has spent years presenting herself as a figure of empowerment. Every podcast, every luxury product, every lifestyle venture has reinforced that narrative. But if whispers of adult-themed pasts or Hollywood roleplay start gaining traction, that polished image cracks. And once the public sees a crack, they don't stop looking. They dig deeper. And here's the cruel irony. Meghan's silence may be strategic, her PR team likely hoping the storm passes, but silence doesn't stop gossip. In fact, it fuels it. Every day she doesn't address the whispers, the rumors grow louder. Social media is buzzing with speculation. Gossip columns are dissecting her history, and even her fans are starting to ask uncomfortable questions. Her brand, American Riviera Orchard, the wellness projects, the polished launches, it's all supposed to scream purity, authenticity, and empowerment. But gossip thrives on contradiction. The more wholesome her current image looks, the more salacious the whispers about her past sound. And that's why this storm is so dangerous. It pits two opposing versions of Meghan against each other. The Duchess she wants us to see, and the woman Maxwell hints she once was.